Hey guys, and good morning. So, getting up, I gotta get Jakey Poo ready for school. I just put his cup over here because I need to boil it. I cleaned it last night, but I had to put it over here on the stove and stuff. So that's what I'm doing now. As you see, my hair is half done. I don't know if you could tell, but my voice is a little raspy this morning. All that great stuff. So I got up and just started doing stuff this morning. And I know you guys probably did too. You're probably having a busy morning, crazy week even. What I wanted to do was take the time to read. Maybe you had a chance to, maybe you didn't have a chance to. I don't know when you came across this video. But let's get it. Okay, let's do this. I don't know your routines and stuff, all of that. Let me set this in a better spot. It looks dark back there, but it actually is like 6 or something in the morning, so it's daytime right now. I don't know why, but I keep going to the Book Chronicles, First Chronicles, and stuff like that, and I think that is literally where I want to be right now. But I've been in the book of I want to say Joshua, and I'm almost done there. I believe I'm on like 17. So I have a couple more to read. I really want to just finish that out this week, hopefully, because I want to catch up with everything. But it's just so much when it comes to it. But I don't want to keep skipping either. So let's just keep it on the go. And maybe you like this, maybe you don't like this. But I know these chapters have some crazy names when you're reading it. So this one is chapter 16. Like I said, this is just to get our reading on to the next level in the next chapter or whatever. So let's just read chapter 16. It only has 10 verses in it. So let's go and knock that out today, okay? Do not hold me to it if I screw up these names. So, okay. The allotment for Joseph began at Jordan, east of the springs of Jericho, and went up from there through the desert into the hill country of Bethel, and went from Bethel, that is Luz, crossed over to the territory of the Archites and Ataroth, descended westward into the territory of the Japhletites as far as the region of Lower Beth Horon and on to Gezer, ending at the Mediterranean Sea. So Manasseh and Ephraim, the descendants of Joseph, received their inheritance. This was the territory of Ephraim, according to its clan. I'll tell you what I got there, and I don't have my pen. Where did I put it? I have to look at my pen, but reading this, when it says that Manasseh and Ephraim and the descendants of Joseph received their inheritance, it just reminds me of God's promises and that he follows through and what he promises as our inheritance for us. Israel had to fight many battles and go through many obstacles before making it over to the promised land. Some people were lost along the way and did not make it into the promised land, but their children did, and their tribes did. And you, sir, you can go through. What's up? I need to tell you that you really didn't get breakfast stuff. I was like, yeah, I didn't think about that because you know Journey been wanting the cereal. Yeah. And then it continues to say, this was the territory of Ephraim according to its clan. So this right here is the territory of Ephraim. the boundary of their inheritance went from Al-Tarab Adar and the east of Upper Beth Horon and continued to the Mediterranean Sea. From Mikmetha on the north, it curved eastward to Tanith Shelah, passing by it to Genoa on the east. Then it went down from Genoa to Atarath and Nara. Again, excuse me if I mess up the names. Touched Jericho and came out to Jordan. From Tapua, the border went west to the Kana ravine and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the Ephraimites according to its inheritance, according to its clans, It also included all the towns and villages that were set aside for Ephraimites within the inheritance of the Manassites. They did not dislodge the Canaanites living in Gezer. To this day, the Canaanites live among the people. This day meaning the time they, I guess, wrote this or whatever. So I don't know if they still live there to this day. I think the towns and stuff like that are majorly changed and stuff. I've been trying to look for a good map of this whole journey for the book of Joshua from the time they crossed over and things like that, what it looks like, and just kind of have a visual of what their journey was, because I like to see things like that. But the towns, they're on there, and, just want to see it. They did not dislodge the Canaanites. There were certain people that were not dislodged that they did not throw out. One of them was Gideon. I know, but Gideon had, was kind of sneaky and made a treaty with them. They didn't consult God about it, and they ended up making a treaty with Gideon. So, yeah. But as it says here, the Canaanites live among the people of Ephraim, but are required to do forced labor. And that was the same thing with the Gibeon. With Gibeon as well, they were to do forced labor, okay? So they stayed there. They didn't make them leave and stuff like that unless they left on their own. And then some they did overthrow, kill everybody in the towns and stuff like that. Some were not allowed to survive. They killed everybody that came against them to fight against them and things like that. So yeah, the ones that did stay, they likely were doing some forced labor. So I just want to put these notes in here. And this Bible that I'm using is the Illustrating Bible. I purchased this, and it also has room for notes and things like that. So that's what I have been doing. And I just bought this, so you don't see anything past before the book of Joshua. You mostly see them for the book of Joshua because that's where I have started. So that's what I have my notes for. But yeah, so those are the 10 verses from Joshua chapter 16. That is my morning. I'm hoping to come back and read that chapter 17 midday and 18 tonight because I really want to, I need to catch up on my reading. I will be lying if I said that I did not skip a day. But I am almost done. This has actually 24 chapters. Yes, 24 chapters, and we're on 17. So we're actually not that far. But like I said, my goal is to finish this by the end of the week. And let me cut that off. Don't forget the, yeah. And it's done boiling, but I'm gonna keep that pot there so that, okay guys, I'm tired this morning. Okay, pot is off. Forced labor, Canaanites, those who remained. And then here I have pointed out about them receiving their inheritance. Manasseh and Ephraim, the descendants of Joseph, you know, that clan that received their inheritance, you know. And it just stood out how God kept his promise, you know, of them coming into the promised land. And he has fought alongside them, and they're taking over the land that God has promised them, you know. And it's just amazing, like how God allows these things to happen and how he works in mysterious ways. We really do not know the ways of God and what he has for us, but we know that he keeps his promises that he has made. And, you know, we live in a world where some are healed, some are not healed, some get sick, some don't get sick. Some live long, some don't live long. And it will always be a mystery of why things are the way it is. And also that we have flesh, that we have every day that we take up, and we battle against spiritual flesh, but God is with us each and every day. As a mom, it takes time to change. It takes time to make changes. And I know there are the perfect moms and stuff out there, but I want to let you know that there are inheritances that God has for you, for your children, okay? Your children are not meant to burden you and cause you just stress. They're little humans learning in this world too. And it can be hard to be there when you're struggling yourself. But don't treat it as if it's a burden. It's a blessing. And what you put the effort into now will birth forth into your children, your children's children, and things like that. You can make the difference. You can make a difference. And it's going to look messy. It's not going to always look neat until God begins to change your heart. And it can begin with reading his word. I've gone different areas back and forth between New Testament, Old Testament, sometimes wherever I feel God is leading me. And it's not going to feel good when you're reading it. You're going to experience so much correction. Sometimes you're going to feel guilty. Sometimes you're going to feel shame and things like that. And some of those things takes place so that you can humble yourself to make the changes that you need. And yes, you're going to have those around you, including your partners, your children, and things like that, that are going to remind you of the person that you were. Because they may not believe that you're actually going to change, but you know that you feel the difference in your heart. You know what you did do to push you towards the change that you're going for. It is hard. It is difficult. And I guarantee you that not everyone got used in this word right now. Like, not everybody God used was perfect. Like, they were not perfect at all. They did things, they acted without God sometimes, you know, and God still came back and used them. Some of them, you know, eventually they were cut off, like the people of Israel. We do all have a time where things will be cut off if you're not repentive and things like that. But yeah, you got to, you know, come to God daily, meaning what you say and making the changes. We expect growth, maturity, and things like that. He doesn't want to keep feeding us milk all the time like babes. We have to grow. You don't want to keep always giving your children something and doing everything for them. You want them to grow and eventually learn, see what you're doing, see the example that you're setting, how to prepare something for themselves, how to do this and that for themselves. Eventually you want them to learn, to get dressed by themselves if they are able to. Everyone's child is not able to do that. But that doesn't mean that your child does not have the ability to learn. They pick up on things, even kids with autism and things like that. And ones that can't speak and stuff like that, they pick up on things. It's all about how you're limiting them and what you believe they can and cannot do. They won't look like my children. They won't look like the next person's child, and everyone is different. But I have seen it, and God is real. And he'll help you with your child that has autism, your child that has disabilities, your child that has health issues, and you really don't know which way it's gonna go. You have heard God heals, but he ain't healing. You're still going through this. Trust me, I understand how you want to scream your head out because it's exhausting and the world does not stop for you. But what you're doing, it does not make sense right now. But I hope you know that it is making a future for someone. And sometimes it's not always your children. It may be someone else, or to influence and help someone else. I don't know. Mysteries. Those are the mysterious parts. But know that you're good and you're persistent and your consistency and all those things, like the people of Israel, doing and obeying the word of God, being there for your families, doing what is right, following him, consulting him about all things, and even when you don't hear from him, doing the next right thing and showing him that you want this. You know he is God. You believe that he is God, no matter the outcomes of the situation that you're in. I love you guys. I thank you for coming in and listening to my stuff that I am doing right now. And I pray that you have a wonderful day today. It's not easy, like I said again, to do the things that we do. Right now, I'm speaking to moms, but for any parent and caregiver out there, it is not easy to do these things. And I want you to know that you are loved by God, even when you don't feel like it. He doesn't need you to feel like it, okay? Well, he would like for you to. But even if you don't, he knows. He's sure. I don't know if you guys have ever had your child come to you and say, oh, you don't love me, whatever, or I hate you, or stuff like that. And you're like, well, I still love you. You messed up today, okay? I get that. And you did some bad things. Ask my child some things that were embarrassing at that. But you are still my child. And I'm not putting you out. I'm not kicking you out that door. I'm going to give you another chance because I also saw some good in you today. You did some right things today that let me know that you're trying to make changes. And I saw some growth in you today that gave me a leap of joy in my heart. And I'm not going to throw you out that quick. No. And I praise God for that, for what the Lord does for us. Thank you guys for listening. Have a blessed day today. I love you.